What's up, guys? My name is Not Explosive, and today I'd like to start a new YouTube series called Overlooked that looks at cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links that may be overlooked or underappreciated. The card that I want to talk about today is called Quill of Gulldos, and it's going to pop up right now. And this is a spell card that's super easy to obtain. You can obtain it by beating Legendary Duelists level 30 or lower, so most of you already have this card. It's super easy to get. And with that, let's get into it. So I'll leave the card up here for another 10 seconds or so you'll be able to read the effect. But the wording on this card isn't very good, so I'll also tell you what the card effect does. And what you can do is you can target 2 wind monsters in your graveyard, shuffle those into your deck, and then target a card, not a monster, a card on any person's side of the field, and return that card to the owner's hand. Now, like all cards within Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, this card has its upsides and its downsides. So first, I'm going to talk about the good things. First, the most important thing, most obvious thing, is that this card can bounce a card back into the hand, whether it be a tribute monster, threatening back row of your opponent, or recycling your own effects, such as that of Twin Barrel Dragon. It's wonderful for getting the cards back into the hand so that they're not a problem on the field. And the bounce effect is what makes this card really good at dealing with threats. Your opponent has a tribute monster on the board, let's say it's Blue Eyes White Dragon, bounce it to the hand, can't bring it out again next turn. What if your opponent has a face down that you think maybe the Golden Apples, or maybe Mirror Wall, or maybe Reinforcements? You can deal with it because you can just bounce it to the hand and then attack. It's super simple, super versatile. But bouncing your opponent's cards is not the only thing this card can do, Quill Pen can do. It's also excellent at bouncing your own cards back. So let's say you have a Twin Barrel Dragon on the field, you tried to blow something up by summoning it last turn, didn't work, you attacked the monster, you killed it, you don't have any other monsters in your hand, or maybe you do, but you feel like Barrel Dragon's a better idea. So use this card, you pop 2 wind monsters from your graveyard into your deck, you target your own Barrel Dragon, and then you bring it to your hand, you summon it, and you get the coin flip again with another chance to destroy an opponent's card. Another card that Quill of Gulldos works really well with is Big Bang Shot. Big Bang Shot. God, that's hard to say. Anyway, if your opponent plays it to get the pierce damage to get the 400 attack point bonus, you just move it back to the hand. Since it's removed from the field, the monster that's equipped with it is removed from play. Likewise, you could run it A as an equipped spell and B as a quick removal for your opponent's monster permanently. Another advantage of this card is it allows you to recycle wind monsters like 4-starred Ladybug of Doom, Birdface, Harpy Lady 1 that are all of tremendous benefit and do nothing in your graveyard. So you can pop them right back into the deck and then draw them later. It's also great for if you run through your deck really quickly for whatever reason, whether you have Wonder Balloons or you have a lot of draw cards or whatever. It's wonderful for getting more cards back into the deck so that you can keep on playing without losing to a deck out. Quill of Gulldos is also excellent. It's wonderful at removing threats on the board so that you can go for game. Let's say your opponent has a 1700, 1800, 1900 beater on board. So what you do, or a token. You target the token, which destroys it, or you target the beater, which pops it back to the hand, and you go for a direct attack, which could lead to a win condition for you unless your opponent has something to counter. So all in all, this is a really nice tech card from the positive angle for win decks because popping a card back to the hand allows so many options for the player using this card, whether it's to recycle their own cards, to pop the opponent's cards back, to go for a direct attack, to remove a tribute monster from a field, to remove a monster from play using Big Bang Shot. It's just a wonderful, wonderful card to get the advantage, to get the tempo advantage that you need to win the game. There are a couple disadvantages of this card. The first, being the most obvious, is the fact that in order to use this card effectively and in order to get the most benefit from this card, most of your monsters in your deck have to be wind type. A deck not running wind types will often find this card as a dead draw because they cannot get the graveyard, they cannot organize the graveyard as they need to trigger the activation condition for this card. The second disadvantage with Quill of Gulldos is that even if you build the deck correctly, even if it's mostly wind, even if it's all wind, you can still draw the spell card early and not be able to use it because your graveyard just isn't set up. So with that, let's get into counters. So if this card ever becomes a nuisance or a pain in your side, the card can be countered in 2 ways. It can be countered on the activation, and it can be countered by not allowing it to activate. Two cards that can be used to counter the activation are Magic Jammer and Magic Drain, with the cards and their effects being listed up here. My personal preference is Magic Drain, because it allows a 1-for-1 trade regardless with the spell card, but it does not always negate the card that you want it to negate. On the other hand, Magic Jammer always negates the card that you want it to negate, but at the cost of an extra card in the form of a discard. Another interesting way of countering Quill Pen of Gulldos and other cards that are similar to it that activate in the graveyard, or with cards that are in the graveyard, is by removing cards from the graveyard. And a great way of doing this is through cards like DELG the Dark Monarch, which you can see up here. By using cards like DELG the Dark Monarch, you can send cards from the graveyard elsewhere to forego the activation condition of cards like Quill Pen of Gulldos and not allow them to activate because the cards that they need, in this case 2 mint monsters, are just not in the graveyard. My final thoughts on Quill Pen of Gulldos is that while it is a good card, it is not a great card. So cards like Enemy Controller would trump this card any day, but cards like Elegant Egotist are just not as good. So it's better than some spell cards, but worse than others. And I will include a deck list right up there of a sample deck that would be fairly good and would make use of Quill Pen of Gulldos. And with that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and comment down below for cards that you want me to discuss in the future. Thank you very much.